honestly suffering through 3,000 pages of For someone who's not writing fantasy, that's an awful lot of fantasy. It's like worse than Sanderson. But I'm not sure that if I can show you this cover. Hi. Hey. Hi. It's me, your Void. And I'm coming to you with an anti-TBR. So, what is an anti-TBR, I hear you say? Good question. It's in the name. It's a stack of books that I will not read in the coming months. Now, why am I not going to read this stack of books that I'm going to present to you? Because I'm in a reading mood, and I don't feel like reading these particular books because I'm pretty sure they will send me into a reading slump if I were to read them now. So let's talk books I'm not going to read. The first book I'm definitely not going to read in July is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, because I cannot be asked to read a 1,000-page long, very mediocre book with a magic system that requires at least 2 university degrees to understand. Given the Mistborn thing is easier to get than whatever the fuck is going on in the Stormlight archives, but still. There are complex magic systems, and then there is this shit. Pretty sure at this point someone has to pay me to read a Brandon Sanderson. I only picked up Mistborn when I first picked it up because there was a promise of this becoming a flintlock fantasy in Era 2, but honestly, suffering through 3,000 pages of not worth it anymore. The promise of a flintlock fantasy by this man? Not worth it. The second book you will not see me touch in July, or anytime soon for that matter, is The Stone of Tears by Terry Goodkind. Why am I not going to read this? Because it's 1,500 pages long. For someone who's not writing fantasy, that's a whole lot of fantasy in one book. This whole series is 11 books long. They are all this thick, as far as I'm aware. So for someone who says he's not writing fantasy, that's an awful lot of fantasy. It's like worse than Sanderson. It's a whole lot of fantasy, but it's a whole lot of kind of mediocre fantasy. The second I picked this up, it's a rage read, honestly. I read these not because I want to read a good book, but because I want to read a comically bad one. And right now, I'm not feeling a 1.5k page hate read. I'd rather watch another season of Below Deck and hate on Gary. It's giving the same kind of stunning stupidity. My third choice of I'm not going to read this in the coming month, The Road to the Breaking. I found this in a charity shop, which is why it looks the way it looks. And I picked it up because historical dramas set during the time right around the Civil War. It's an interesting setting. I'm very much a Wild West enjoyer. I do like this the time stuff happening around the Civil War, and this book takes place right before the Civil War. Problem being, having flat out reality-based books right now is not really tempting. It's not tickling my biddies. So, yeah, I will not read the microscopic font of this one in the coming month. What I'm also not going to read is any of my soft DNFs, because I'm pretty sure at this point they would send me spiraling down into a reading slump, and I'm not in the mood for a reading slump. We are in a reading mood, and these are soft DNFs for a reason. Soft DNF number 1, Guns of the Dawn. Very slow, weird pacing. If you know, you know. If you don't know, watch my Adventure-a-thon vlog. There you get all the reasons why I'm DNFing this bitch. Or soft DNFing. It's not bad, it's just slow. And I'm not in the mood for slow. Probably the reason for me running through this TBR video right now. Anti-TBR. Second soft DNF, The Near Witch by Schwab. Again, if you know, you know. If you don't know, let me tell you. This is a very, very atmospheric read. I figured this out after 46 pages. It's a very moody read. It's not like bad or boring or slow in any kind of way. It's just the mood set in this book is a very different one from the mood I'm in right now. It's the height of summer, and this is giving the height of fall. So I'm not really vibing with this book right now, which is why after 46 pages I put it away for later consumption. Third book on my soft DNF list, City of Dusk by Tara Sim. Again, if you know, you know. Reason number one for this being a soft DNF, look at how tiny this writing is. Teeny tiny. And we follow a shit ton of characters through a very densely built world. So for this one, you need all the brain cells you can get. And right now, I'm freshly out of brain cells. Overall, I'm very intrigued about this book, which is why I soft DNF'd it. Because I do want to have the brain cells to comprehend what's going on in here. But because I don't have them right now, the book has to wait. You get one more book from me that I'm not going to read, but I'm not sure that if I can show you this cover. This book is by a German author, so yay me for adding it to my shelves in the first place. And it is a very German book. It is a very German kind of book. I'm just gonna cover it up. If you know, you know. I can't show you the full cover because I'm actually scared YouTube will hit me in the face if I do. But this book is called He's Back, and it's a satirical approach to what would happen if a man with a very famous name and a very infamous reputation would come back into modern times. Modern being used as a vague term here because this book was published a while ago, and it says it's in he comes back to summer 2011. It's a satirical approach to how would he behave in modern times. There is a movie out about it. It is pretty funny, and the book was received pretty okay-ish. But I'm not in the mood for German satire at the moment, especially not with Eddie in the main role. If you know, you know. A giant-ass bug just smashed headfirst into my window. What the fuck? You okay, bruh? Alright, cool, bye. But yeah. He is back. Not gonna read it. Back you go on the shelf. So there you have it. Speedrunning an Anti-TBR. Now you know what books I'm definitely not going to read next month. What I'm going to read? No one knows. Not even myself. I'm just gonna go to my shelf and blindly pick something, I guess. Cool. Let me know what you are not going to read in July, I guess. And if you made it to the end of this video, I'm trying this new thing where I tell you to leave an emoji down in the comments. Leave the cross-armed emoji thing in the comments if you made it this far. That would be cool, right? Okay. Yeah. See you in the next video. Bye. Back you go into the corner of shame.